leadership. And so I've done a lot of training, and I've had the opportunity to do some work-related training and classes during the day through Inmar, which is the company I work for. And I've got to say, I have learned so much more from that than school alone, by far. Like, they teach you how to manage in school, but they don't teach you how to lead. And I'm actually meeting in 2 weeks from now with a professor at the college that I went to. I was the dean of the Bryan School of Business at UNCG over here in North Carolina, wanted me to talk to them about collaborative groups and leadership and so forth, because they're actually going to be redoing their curriculum. So that's pretty awesome, because I feel like now there's been such a trend with leadership and the push for it rather than just managing people. So especially with, network marketing and so forth, you have to portray that leadership and those qualities to be successful, basically. So I'm pretty excited about it. So I made a little bit of a PowerPoint. Let's see. Can you guys see it? Okay. So basically, leadership is the act of motivating or inspiring somebody to, or a group of people to act towards achieving a common goal. And for most people, they're looking to lose weight, and you're helping them achieve that goal. It is a skill to perfect. It's something that you constantly have to work on, and the most successful leaders will actually create successful leaders. So that is the goal, is to become a great leader to the point where you actually develop other leaders. And also remember that it drives buy-in, and buy-in delivers results. So you want your coaches to be able to buy into your vision. You want your customers and your clients to be able to buy into your vision and so forth, and be able to buy into what you believe. So that is really important. So if you think back on your most influential leader, what kind of things do you think of? Just kind of think about that for a minute, and come up with a couple qualities that your most successful leader in your past has had. So these are some of the qualities that people look for. So this is all about perception. So how does the person buying the product actually perceive you as leader? These are some of the qualities that you have to have, or you have to work on in order to sell a product. The first thing, and the most enormous quality to have, is you have to be honest. That goes back to your core values and your core beliefs. You want people to be able to trust you. If they don't trust you, they're not gonna, believe in you or believe in the product. You're not gonna be able to sell something if they don't find you trustworthy. And it kind of goes hand in hand with confidence. You want to be able to be assertive and, kind of show that swagger and to show that confidence, to increase respect and so forth. But sometimes we're too honest too much, to the point where you don't want to come off as somebody that can't trust you or can't believe in, the product, and can't believe in, what you're doing to achieve your goal. You want to be honest, but you also want to show your confidence as well, whether it's increased or you're completely confident now. Another thing is influence. So the only way you can influence people is if you set a good example. And a lot of people do this through Instagram. They'll post their workouts, they'll post what they eat. And they also watch when things get rough. How does this leader handle the tough situation? Do they pull through? Do they still stay consistent, committed, and passionate? And are they a good communicator? Do they communicate, good, in terms of leader to the customer, but also in terms of coach to coach? It's a tool for motivating coaches, is to have good communication. Decision-making capabilities, of course, but I'm going to skip down to accountability because this is the biggest thing. Is everyone doing what they said they were going to do? People are watching to see if you're doing what you're supposed to do, and your leader should be pointing out if you're not doing what you're supposed to do. One thing is, writing down, what am I supposed to do? When, how, what, where. Write these things out. The more you write it down, the more real it becomes. And you want to empower your followers through your posts and so forth. So just keep that in mind as well when you're posting things on social media. And what makes you stand out from everyone else? What makes, Beachbody in general stand out from other programs? There's a lot of competition out there, but what makes us stand out? And that is something that you want to focus on, financial freedom, quick workouts, being able to follow easy plans and so forth. And another thing is empathy. You want to be able to connect with your followers. And the first step in being effective with your coaches is to understand their problems or feel their pain. And I'll get into that a little bit more when I go through some situational leadership stuff. But for the most part, you want to be able to empathize with, people that are buying the product and also your coaches as well. And also be humble, give credit where it's deserved, and show others how important they are to you. So let them know that your success, it's really, influential for me. Be humble. Make sure that they know that they are, super important as well. That's one of the biggest ones too. And that goes into, it's not about you. It's not completely about you. You want to post things about yourself, but also post, successes, with your coaches. Be able to, recognize and reward them in a way. Something that might be a minor accomplishment is something that's huge for them. And you want to do that so that way you can reinforce their behavior. And also, this is something that some of the coaches have said in some of the calls, and that is creating value in the sales process, and that's having belief in the sales process as well and the structure. So that is very important as well. People are motivated by vision, but also remember that vision, it has to be clear. You have to have a clear vision, and you also have to focus on people's strengths. And to encourage these skills to be used to develop the team, to develop, the clients and so forth. So again, leveraging everyone's strengths, collaborating with each other to succeed. I think everyone does such a great job with this team and the others. I think this is something that I see every day, is everyone collaborating with each other to make sure that they reinforce these behaviors with each other. And again, if somebody's doing something or not doing something, call them out on it. If they said that they were going to do something, make sure that they're following all of, their personal development. Ask them, hey, how's this going? Have you sent, such and such invites that you said that you were going to do last week? Make sure that you develop that open communication, give them, constructive feedback and so forth. And keep your eye on the prize and inspire your team to perform. And one of the other things is when you're in your challenge groups, and this is just in business in general, know how to spot talent. So if you see somebody that is in your group and they're portraying leadership qualities, and they're pretty persuasive in their, basically persuasive in, letting you guys believe that they're doing something so good for themselves. Know how to spot that talent so that way, you can develop them into a coach. And again, understand the consumer. So you want to just not focus on the transaction. You want to focus on the customer impact. I think Ashley does a really good job of that. She's always, saying, this is how many lives have been changed this, this month or this week today. That is the most important part. Get emotionally involved with your base and make sure that you're recognizing them for all of the things that they're achieving. And this is kind of something that I'm going to get into next. And this is the ability to lead different types of personalities. So basically, you're trying to get the yous of the world to join in on your team. And you kind of get a little bit of a sneak preview, but you don't fully understand that person, especially if they're in your cold market and so forth. So you want to be able to identify, different personalities, different motivations and competencies to be able to successfully lead them and to give them what they need. That is what leadership is all about, guys. That is about giving everyone the tools to succeed. You have to be there for them to give them the tools to succeed. So the first one is an enthusiastic beginner. This is what everyone recognizes when somebody starts up. They've got a new goal or task. They're very inexperienced, and they just don't know what they don't know. But in the same effect, they're really eager to learn. They want to learn, and they're accepting of taking direction. They're very enthusiastic about, starting up this business, or enthusiastic about starting a program. They will take all of the information that you give back to them. And the way that you do that is you build what they don't know. They're already highly motivated. You don't have to, increase their motivation. They're already there. Just give them the tools to, learn what they need to know, acknowledge that they have these transferable skills, such as maybe they're really good at fitness, maybe they were really good at nutrition before, or maybe marketing. Let them know that these skills that they have, even though they're not fully competent in starting the business, they have other skills that will help them achieve their goals in this business. So, again, give them direction, develop a learning plan, and teach them or show them how to do something. Or, if they ask about how do I do this on YouTube or on Instagram, give them a link to follow up on something, or tell them, hey, you know what, maybe search this on Google, and, give them something, because they're kind of lost in the dark and they may not know what to do first. And, the trainings, they go so far, but when it comes down to it, they just need some direction in the beginning. So this is the point where the learner gets disillusioned. And sometimes we lose, that lack of motivation. We're learning, but we're getting discouraged. There's just so much information thrown at us, and we're getting frustrated. Some people are ready to quit. Maybe you're confused or afraid of making mistakes. And that's fine. That's all a part of this learning process. People go through all of these different stages, and sometimes they skip one. They go from the disillusioned learner to a rock star and so forth. But the main thing is identifying people's knowledge and also their motivation set to be able to effectively lead them. This is what situational leadership is all about. Not every single person needs the same thing. Everyone learns different. Everyone needs different guidance depending on what they know, don't know, and their motivation level. And reinforce their why. Why are you doing this? Redirect and reteach. Redirect them to their, why. What is the reason for doing this? And one good thing is involving them in problem solving. So ask them, what could you do better? How could you have, made more time for this or that? That's really important, is involving them in that process and valuing, their input and being able to have them come to their own conclusion as well. Because it's more impactful when it comes from them and they're saying, what, maybe I could have done this better, rather than somebody saying, you need to do this, you need to do that. Give them some motivation, and provide some perspective and some feedback. So the next one is a capable and cautious contributor. So basically, they're pretty smart in, how to do things. They don't need a lot of guidance or a lot of learning. They pretty much have all the skills down to a T. They pretty much know what to do on Instagram. They know how to sell and so forth. But sometimes there's a variability in, you know, how motivated they are. Maybe they're bored. Maybe they aren't always confident. Maybe they're going through something and they just need a little bit of a push. And by push, I mean, ask them, say, you know, hey, I noticed that, you know, you haven't been posting so much on Instagram. You know, is everything okay? There's always a reason for something. Just reach out and ask, and also reflect on their past successes. Maybe they got discouraged. Maybe there was not enough time to do stuff because they had so much going on. But listen and encourage, and, you know, express, you know, your confidence in how smart they are, and, you know, all of the things that they're able to do. So again, this is something that happens every so often. Some people might jump back and forth between the, you know, these different kinds of, you know, competencies or motivations. But the most important thing is being able to recognize how motivated is this person, and how knowledgeable are they? You know, how are they demonstrating their skill and their knowledge? And this will help you develop the style that you need to approach, you know, leading them. And in this case, you would want to build their confidence in their competence. They want to know that they're doing all of the right things. They want to know that they are smart and they're valued. And, you know, maybe they just fell off for a week or so. And, you know, maybe 6 months out of the year, they've been fine since then. But every once in a while they'll fall off. But it's your job to kind of identify it and, you know, monitor and say, hey, is everything going okay? This doesn't seem like you. And the last one is what we all strive to be. This is something that we want to be. We all want to be the self-reliant achiever. We all want to be highly skilled and highly committed. And some of these qualities you can see in a self-reliant achiever. They're kind of seen as a mentor. They encourage change or innovation or influence. They're also recognized as an expert. When you see some of these top elite coaches, you're looking at them like they are the expert. You trust everything that they have to put out there. They're consistently showing how smart they are in this business. They're consistently showing how smart they are in their product and how consistent they are in achieving their goals. That is the kind of leader that you want to follow. You want to follow somebody that's consistently competent and accomplished in the field. Again, their commitment, they're completely confident, self-assured, and they inspire others. Again, in the beginning, I said that leadership is all about inspiring and motivating others to reach a common goal, or to inspire other leaders to become better leaders. And that is, you know, one takeaway that I want you guys to take away today is be inspiring, be influential, make sure that you show confidence, be sure that you're being honest, but also think about it from this point of view. If you're constantly posting, you know, your fails and your failures, and there's nothing that you're showing how you react to these things, they're gonna not trust, you know, your competency. They're not gonna trust how smart you are in this, how smart you are in the product, you know, how easy it is to follow, and so forth. You want to be honest with them in the process, but you also want to show a sense of confidence or an increased confidence. So you want to show them your journey, you know, with transparency, but you also want to remain confident. So definitely the number one thing is, just like you can't love someone unless you love someone else, you cannot help others be confident unless you're increasing your confidence. So number one thing is, do live by example and do what you need to do for yourself, so that way that reflects on other people, because people are watching that and they see all of these different kinds of things. And again, this is just kind of like how you would, you know, approach them, is to invite, you know, ongoing learning. Everyone needs to constantly learn. There are new products in the market every day. There are competitors coming out with new things. There are new fads in different locations and so forth. You need to be able to, you know, come back with, oh, you're doing Weight Watchers, kind of learn about Weight Watchers, kind of learn about your competitors. So that way you can identify some of those weaknesses and compare it to what you're trying to get somebody to follow. Let them know the product that you are selling, or the product that is changing your life is different, and it is so much different than the other program, and point out those differences so they know that there is a value in the price that they're paying for these products. And one other thing that I kind of just want to say out there is goal setting. And this is something as leaders that we need to do, and this is something that we need to help other people that are following us create good goals. And they're called SMART goals. They're specific. They're going to motivate you, and they're attainable. It's not something that's like so far out there that you just can't reach it. And they're relevant, they're relevant to what's going on right now, and trackable, kind of like with weight loss. You can track your weight. You can say, I want to lose 5 pounds by March 1st. Something like that. This is something that is specific. You give a time limit. You give something that's attainable, motivating, specific, and it's trackable. Otherwise, it's not a goal, guys. It's not a real goal. You have to make sure that you're making SMART goals. Otherwise, you're not going to achieve them. And you got to make sure that you're writing them down, because I know, as crazy as it sounds sometimes, the more we write things down, the more we're seeing it in front of our face, the more we're going to believe it ourselves, and the more we're going to achieve it. So, do you guys have any questions for me?
That was awesome. That was like so much information. I'm so glad I recorded that. That was awesome.
So
goal setting too.
One thing you guys should do is look up, just kind of briefly Google situational leadership. They have like some charts and stuff that kind of give you a guideline and kind of things to look out for. And also Simon Sinek is like, he is like my role model when it comes to business, and everything he says, I absorb it and I live by it. And it's something that has completely helped me be able to project leadership, with the things that I'm doing. He is awesome. So definitely look up some of his videos, his articles, and so forth. Go on LinkedIn and look at some of the stuff that he posts. Follow him. And look up situational leadership. It's by Penn Blanchard Company. And it's just, they offer a lot of classes also. So if there's ever a leadership course in your area, or at your work, if they provide mentorship or classes or anything, definitely take them, because they are extremely helpful. You can push things, but you need to be able to show those qualities for people to be able to buy into what you're selling.
Right. I love that. Do you take courses for leadership?
So I'm a business major. I'm just finishing up. I have a few more classes to go.